Hello Gemini, welcome to your November 2016 Love and General Tarot card readings. Thank you so much for being here with me. I'm super happy to have you. Let me see, just a quick reminder to follow me on Instagram and Facebook. I'm a little bit more interactive there with those apps, so a little bit more than YouTube. So I put the links down below. Would love to have you to join me there. So here we go for your love reading. Okay, for Gemini, the love reading for November 2016. Okay. Oh. Sorry, that was a really loud noise. I have no idea what that was. Scared me really bad. Okay, Gemini, here we go. Your love reading. Okay. Four of Swords. It's so funny, as I was shuffling, I was thinking about this Page of Swords, and I was like, because I just met someone that I would, he definitely was that Page of Swords energy, and I was on vacation. He was like 20 something, really young, and he was so sweet and so cute and so fun and just super chatty, and I was like, as I was shuffling, I was like, it'd be interesting if that came out, and here it is. Sometimes I will things on accident. I don't mean it. I just just pops into your head. So I'll get to that in a moment. This is you, by the way. This is your energy, and I'm kind of thinking that maybe there's someone in your realm here. So whether your partner, someone new coming in, very possibly someone new for a lot of you single people, also someone who is in your surroundings, right? Four of Swords, though, in the center. I love having the energy. So Gemini, air sign. I love it when I have the swords, right? Because those are the air energies in the center of the reading, because it really means to me that you are feeling like you're displaying the behavior and the personality of your true air-like quality as a Gemini, if I make sense. And so it's very native for you. It's very comfortable for you. Your mind is very active. Four of Swords. Now, a lot of times I can see this as like a moment of peace. I see it more as reflection and seeing it as you. Like, I don't think that this is someone resting or napping. I see it as someone reliving something, okay? Reliving something that happened, a conversation that you had, and being very objective about it as well. It's one thing that the air signs, I think, are very good at, is objectivity and really seeing things for what they are and for the truth within them. Okay, so whatever happened with you and your partner, whatever conversation occurred, I think that or situation, right? I think that you're really looking at it in a very, like, a quality way. All right, and the good news about the pages is they're very open-minded, especially the Page of Swords. Open-minded and curious and interested in hearing other people's opinions and learning and seeing, what the other person has to say. Now, unfortunately, okay, I feel like there's a vibe of, like, there's this trapped or feeling suffocated or feeling like maybe you really don't see the truth, or maybe your partner's not seeing the truth. It's kind of, this is connecting both of you, and these swords are pointing down towards your partner or the person that you're dating or that may come in. And I'm wondering if there's not some projections of of ideas or standards, or I'm going to contradict myself a little bit, and I'm sorry about that. Sometimes that happens. But it's just like, you know, I kind of feel, even though you are open-minded and not so quick to judge people, I do sense that there is a projection of judgment. Totally contradicting myself, but just bear with me. You know, like, and maybe there's a realization that that is what you are doing. I feel like this is very circular, right? I don't know why. This guy's looking up, this guy's looking here, these are coming here, and this guy's looking here. So there's like definitely a revolving energy here where it kind of comes back. I feel like this person might kind of keep surprising you in some kind of a way, and causing you to keep reflecting and causing you to try to keep an open mind, but then yet you're still projecting and you're still setting expectations, and like you're kind of setting yourself up in a little bit of a box. And yet this person keeps breaking the boundaries, keeps breaking through, keeps surpassing expectations. Air and fire are very quality matches, in my opinion. They are both masculine polarities, which means they have that genuine intrinsic understanding of, you know, of how they operate in the world, and you know, they're more projected outwards versus inwards. So there's a good understanding of one another. And I think this person keeps surprising you in some way. I feel like there's a little bit of a shine here. You know, he's attached to the sun. I'm kind of sensing though that you're like I say, this person might be someone that you just aren't really that interested in, and yet they still just kind of stay in your life. They still just kind of stick around. It's almost as though you're purposely, here's the card I always call the card of self-sabotage, where you are killing the goodness with your doubts and your fears. You have the 7 and 8. You're killing the goodness. And you're pushing those doubts and those fears. Those things are being projected. Even here, the alignment of these swords here, they're being, you know, projected toward this person. He's kind of being victimized a little bit by your, I don't even know, your ideas. It's like this person is, how is it? They're falling short of your expectations, but yet they're exceeding them at the same time. They are bugging you, and I don't feel like you feel like this might be the one. Okay, if you're just kind of dating someone, obviously if you're in a relationship and this is your long-term 10, 15-year husband or wife, of course you are committed to that person and you love them. But there's just something off about them, and they might just be, it's weird. It's like you're interested in them and you get along and there's compatibility, but something bugs you about them, and therefore you categorize them as something, but then they keep breaking through that judgment that you make, and you keep discovering that you're wrong, and yet you kind of keep circling back and doing it over and over. And it's like you're actively trying to find things about this person as to why it can't work, but it's going to work. This is weird. This is a very strange reading for me. Okay, the 9 of Pentacles. Let's get to these two in a little, like now, because I haven't really talked about them yet. It's and this is kind of them, right? Sort of breaking free and being victorious over these projections and these expectations of yours. Them succeeding, them being good, them sort of squashing your ideas of them, overpowering them. The 9 of Pentacles is kind of like, whenever a pentacle is reversed, and I said this in my Taurus reading as well, it kind of speaks to me in a way of things not, like the details not being paid attention to, and the day-to-day stuff kind of going by the wayside a little bit. You know, swords are very much up in their air. They're the clouds, the sky. This is the earth. And the earthly things, the mundane, the boring, the slow-moving stuff sometimes gets kind of pushed by the wayside. But I feel like it's in those details that this person shines through. It's in the details that this person surpasses your expectations and surprises you, and it kind of opens your eyes to maybe who they really truly are. They keep winning. Like, I don't know, if you're dating a lot of people, you might not really be that interested in them. Maybe physically there's not a connection. Like, I feel like there's a part of you that's like, this is not the person for me, but yet they keep showing you that they are. And you are just left confused and like, well, what do I do? And then you might try to push buttons or try to ruin something or try to disappear or, you know, kind of ghost them. But then they come back. This is a very present energy. It's one thing I like about the wands, except for the Knight of Wands. But the wands generally stay in your life. You know, even just if they morph into a friendship, you know, I think maybe for a lot of you, this might become a friendship if it's someone that you're just dating. If you're married long term or in a very committed relationship, it's just your partners, they're just on your nerves a little bit. And yet they keep showing you how great they are. I don't really know what else to say. I'm going to pull out more cards, I guess. This is kind of a funny reading, you know. It's kind of, it kind of makes me smile. And maybe because I've been in that situation before, or maybe because, you know, I don't know. It's just kind of silly, you know. We always... Why don't we allow people to be awesome? Why don't we allow them to be positive influences in our life? Why don't we allow them to make us happy, you know, especially if they keep proving that they are? And there's obviously an interest there, right? Your energies are kind of reciprocating and there's a cycle going back and forth. There's an exchange. The King of Pentacles. Now here's the Sun and the Moon. I like when I bring out two celestial entities. It's even nice when I bring out the Star as well. I like the Moon. The Moon is an unknown. It's a mystery. I think this person intrigues you in some way. In some way, I think it also kind of like they're bringing out this beautiful curiosity in you. And I'm kind of like getting, you know, when you're kind of around a dog for the first time, it's your friend's dog or something, and they kind of come up to you and sniff you, and they're curious. They want to know about who you are before they allow you to pet them and hold them and things like that. And I kind of feel like that's what you're doing to this person. Very cautious, very on guard. And again, setting those expectations and judging, and especially coming out as the King of Pentacles, they're very good at judgments, right? But you're trying to keep an open mind. You're trying to stay open or judgment free. But yet, and then there's that element of the details, again with the pentacles, the mundane, the little things that I think this person pays attention to, that I think that this person is aware of, and that this is how they express love to you or caring towards you. And it just keeps surprising you. And it's almost like you're testing them in some way. And now that we have your energy and their energies kind of heading in the same direction, there's definitely a message of, like I said, the reciprocity. It's being shared amongst the two of you. And now you're headed into the moonlight together, okay? Not the sunlight, the moonlight. They're shiny, okay? They're sparkly. They intrigue you. They interest you. I think they instill a sense of wonderment in you, but you're just very, very cautious, curious and accepting, but cautious. And going into the moonlight, going into the unknown, like I think a lot of you are going to be like, what the hell, let's try it. Maybe this won't work out. I don't know. Probably not, but I'm still going to try it. For some reason, this person keeps winning. You know, you might be dating a lot of people, but they are the victorious ones. They are the ones that are standing out of the crowd. And for some, it's like those pictures where you have, you know, black umbrellas, and then there's the one umbrella that's bright red or bright yellow or something, and it's like standing out of the crowd, you know, those cheesy little things. But it's kind of how it is. It's just somehow they're just a little bit above normal, and they just sort of exceed your expectations enough. They keep surprising you enough. Even if you're hesitant to really let them into your life, you're hesitant to let things go well, you're hesitant to fall in love, okay, especially King of Pentacles reverse, very hesitant to fall in love, very hesitant to let someone into his heart, but I think you're willing to try. This person is sparkly. They do instill a sense of wonderment and mystery in your life, and maybe even kind of shakes up your world a little bit. The good news about the Knight of Wands, all right, I love this person. In a love reading, it's hard. It's hard because they tend to be difficult to commit, okay? So I think your hesitation might be because you're picking up on that a little bit. But they're also hunters, they're also fighters, they're also warriors. They do fight for stuff. Once you get them, they're very loyal, but it's hard to get them. But I think you're sparkly for them as well. And that this doesn't just go like this, it also goes like this. And that this person is also objectively looking, maybe also testing you, maybe also kind of putting you in a box, and you exceed expectations. And I think that there's just something a little bit different enough about the two of you that holds your intrigue, and that this is something that I think you're going to at least try. Okay? You're just going to at least try it, see how it goes. So, an interesting reading. Like I said, it's kind of funny how we do that, and how sometimes people come in and they just totally steal our hearts, and then other times, you know, you need to grow on one another, and sometimes that can even be better, you know, or have more longevity. Okay, so let's focus on generals. Now, I'm keeping this totally open, so some of the messages may be reinforced from the first reading. I'm not going to take those, and I'm not going to kind of limit it, I don't think. I'm just gonna, whatever else you are meant to know, I ask that it be shown here. Gemini for November. Page of Pentacles in the center. Pages are messengers of news as well. Can you see that? Okay. Pages are messengers of news and information. And it's interesting that the Pentacles are kind of playing a little bit of a theme, because I feel that it's a message to you to pay attention, right? To remain alert and to not allow your thoughts. And I feel there's a very active emotional and mental state for you this month. So a lot of imagination, maybe a lot of dreaming, maybe a lot of like stress and worry, things happening whether in your career or in your personal life that just are affecting you in maybe a more intense way than normal. But a reminder for you, life is not about the fantasy all the time. There are things that need to be done. There are things that need to be paid attention to. It's a message of focus. Pay attention, okay? make sure that things are buttoned up. All right. Here's that imagination and that dreaming, and that very much maybe geared toward a specific person. Okay, maybe the person we talked about in the last reading. But I feel that there's stress. I'm happy the Seven of Cups is in the reversal, though, because it's, maybe the energy is weakened a little bit, that fantasy or that dreamlike energy, and that, that grandeur, I guess, of whatever your heart is telling you. Sometimes we get overwhelmed by options. Sometimes we get overwhelmed by our feelings, and they kind of overtake us. Now, feelings, I think, are taking a back seat to thoughts. Now, they're kind of the same thing, but not really. Thoughts, I think that thoughts a lot of times can be much more powerful, much more impactful than feelings, my opinion, because they tend to instill action a lot of times. Just because we feel something doesn't always mean we're going to act on it, but when we think something and when we think things through, we're more likely to then act. This is a very intense, both 8 and 9, but very, very potent thoughts. Something is keeping you up at night. Something is stressing you. It is penetrating your dreams. It's very present in your mind, very present in your life. Okay, and I think this element of the unknown. This came out in the last reading as well, but with a more positive connotation. This time, I still see it as positive. I see it as something that you in some way are embracing, okay? You might be stressed out about it. You might be having a hard time adjusting, but yet you are embracing it. Now, for a lot of you, it may just be letting the cards fall as they may. If something happened in your life, I'm not seeing the Tower or anything like that, but if something did happen in your life, you are taking it in stride. You're taking it for what it is. You're allowing it to unfold organically. And, in the night, there's like these dogs and this crustacean, so indicative. And there's these big, ominous towers that probably cast dark shadows. And the unknown can be scary. The emotional unknown and feeling raw and vulnerable can be scary. But I feel like you are less afraid of that than you are afraid of repeating a bad habit. 5 of Swords. You're tired of fighting for something. You're tired of this, I think. And I think that this is you really trying to break free of something in your life that is a little bit toxic, right? Whether this is relationships with family or something that you're dealing with your partner, or something that, even at work, things might be struggling a little bit or stressing you out. And now I feel like it's even kind of maybe out of your hands, and you're kind of grateful for that. And you're seeking new endeavors. You're seeking new horizons. I see this guy here as a man, a wanderer, or an explorer of some sort, who is really standing at the edge of everything that he knows and looking out over in this case, an ocean. A lot of the artwork is different, but in this case, an ocean, and wondering what's on the other side. What's on the other side of my stress? What's on the other side of my emotions? And when will this leave? And while you cannot force yourself to let go, and you may be feeling trapped by the stresses and the frustrations of everyday life, or someone in your life specifically, you may have a feeling of, how do I deal with it, and what do I say, and how do I go about doing this, and what will be the consequence of doing that. But with such a forward-looking and progressive undertone, okay, this is like the bottom middle of the reading, so it's really supporting the rest of the reading. You're able to handle this other stuff like a champion because of this attitude. I can't wait to get to the other side. I'm okay with dealing with things that I can't predict or that I can't understand. I'm okay with heading into this unknown area and trying something new and just seeing what happens if it means there's a possibility that it will alleviate my stress, that it will alleviate my nightmares, and it will help me sleep calmly again. There's a strength to you, there's an emperor vibe to you that is from a position of strength. The emperor is the king of kings, is what I say. The emperor, the empress, king and queen of the kings and queens. They are the major arcana. And there's wisdom here. Wisdom and knowledge of having been there before. This might be something that you've lived through before, so you know that it will go away. You know that it will disappear. You're following your heart a little bit. Okay, and I know I said this could be your partner. I don't know exactly what this stress, where this is coming from. It's kind of all pointing to this person, but on the same token, I'm seeing it as you following your heart a little bit and following your intuition as well, knowing that there is something on the other side, that it's not just an endless ocean of nothingness, that there really is something on that other side, and that you can travel through that darkness, travel across that ocean, and have faith that the sun will come up, that there will be land on the other side, there will be something, and taking everything in stride, almost taking everything with a grain of salt as well, and attacking everything from a position of strength. Now remember the detail, remember the mundane aspect of this, and keeping everything real. Keep it real, right? Keep it grounded. These things are they're not real. This is real. These are illusions. These are projections, expectations, doubts, fears. But they are not the reality. This guy keeps it real, right? He knows what to stress about. He knows where to have faith and when not, and when to fight, when to battle, when to sit and do nothing. Just that top cards, I think. Okay. There's a sense of nostalgia here. Let me see. I'm not really pinning down who these people really are. It's not really coming to me. I'm seeing it going multiple different ways, whether it's your partner or someone in your life that's causing stress, but then it's also you, and then this is you, but this might be someone else. This might be the Page of Wands energy that we're talking about, so it might be the same. I'm not really connecting the dots. Honestly, with the connection of the Six of Cups kind of might lead me to believe that it is someone from your past or someone that is in your life or that you have a long-standing connection with. Maybe a friend, okay? It's almost as though this person is looking out onto your situation and offering you words of support, Page of Cups. And while maybe unable to help, I mean, see how he's leaning forward aggressively, almost like he's gonna jump out of his chair and come, but he doesn't. He remains sitting. He sees who you are. He sees how strong you are. Now, this could be like I say, a friend or a colleague or a father or mother or someone that you are closely associated with, but yet there is still a boundary, right? You still have this separating the two. This person sees you, this person sees what you're capable of, can offer advice, can offer support, but maybe doesn't actually step in and help you, right? A sounding board. And I think that this person honestly will bring up the cup things, right? The feeling things, and those messages of doing things that make you happy and doing things that you feel secure and safe with. There's safety in this unknown, and you know that. You know that things will work out okay. There's a very beautiful, optimistic tone in this reading as well. Even though it's hard, even though it's confusing, you know things are going to be okay, right? You're keeping it real. You're grounded, even though you're all up in the air and there's a frenzy in your mind and your heart. Ultimately, your reason is winning. Okay, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I think I'm just going to leave you with that. I'm not feeling truly inspired to say anything else. So that's it. Okay. Thank you so much, Gemini, for watching. And that's it. I'll see you next month. Thank you. Bye.